Good morning, it's Wednesday, which means it's time for First Look, which is our unboxing series on the Defiant. Today we're going to be taking a look at Element Finance, which offers a fixed rate protocol for DeFi, and it does it in a slightly strange way, which is what we're going to take a look at today. They're going to be deploying to mainnet on June the 30th. Currently it's only available on the girly testnet, but it's quite fun. And it took me a little while to figure out what exactly is going on, and I will attempt to explain it with the help of this. But first, a message from our sponsors.
Don't let high gas costs keep you out of Ethereum. A balancer you can trade all you want and get most of the gas costs back in your pocket. In their new BAL for Gas campaign, traders are receiving 6 figures worth of BAL tokens every week, and with version 2, Balancer is becoming the one-stop shop for DeFi liquidity. Balancer version 2 brings stable pools and weighted pools tightly integrated under a single protocol, with flash loans, lending via asset managers, and much, much more. Check it out at balancer.finance. DeFi users, you no longer need to pay expensive and unpredictable interest rates on your ETH loans. Liquidity, a decentralized borrowing protocol, allows you to borrow against your ETH interest-free. Loans are paid out in LUSD, a USD-pegged stablecoin which needs to maintain a minimum collateral ratio as low as 110%. To learn more, head over to liquidity.org/Defiant to get started and get the most out of your borrowing needs today.
So then, Element, what is Element all about? Well, Element's kind of big ticket item here is a fixed rate protocol. And I've kind of been fixated with fixed rate protocols ever since the start of the year because I'm always thinking ahead to what happens during a bear market. How will we ride out a situation in which altcoins, the major kind of movers in the market are heading downwards? And of course, you end up with things like Anchor on Terra, which is fixed rate of interest, and then products like this, Element. So Element claims to be able to offer you the chance to buy a discounted asset, say ETH or USDC, and then you hold it for a period of time. It then matures, and you are able to redeem it for the full ticket price of that asset, which sounds a little crazy, huh? So if we look at the front page, it says, for savers, grow your savings. You pick up what is called a principal token for a discounted price. So in their example, they say you have 0.8 worth of ETH. You trade that ETH for the principal token version of ETH. And in this instance, you're buying 1 ETH. And then you have to hold that for a period of time. In this instance, it's 90 days. And at the end of 90 days, you'll be able to redeem it for 1 ETH. I was trying to figure out whether there was a good metaphor for this, and I couldn't really think of one. So I just picked up a camera because this sort of illustrates the point quite well for me. What is going on here is that there is the potential to earn interest and yield on assets. And in this case, it's through Yearn vaults. And you'll be familiar with this through Alchemix, for instance. Alchemix deploys capital into Yearn vaults, and then you're able to use that interest to pay back a loan over time. Same kind of things going on here. So what's happening is you have your principal, and that principal is put into a vault. But in return, whereas normally you would have to put the entire thing into the vault, leave it there, and don't touch it, with Element, what happens is it gets split. So you have 2 items. You have a principal token and you have a yield token, and they are separate. So with the principal token, it's issued on the grounds that the further it is away from the maturation period, the cheaper it should be, the more discounted it should be in relation to its face price. So for someone who might need the funds, they can opt to sell their principal token and take back a certain chunk of the cash in return for the benefit of having the money now. Similarly, with the yield token basically represents the future yield of the principal. But as we know, yield interest can be variable, so it can go up and down. So there may be more safety in holding the principal tokens. So what this allows is it allows for people who want to buy a really safe product, which is the principal tokens. What they might decide to do is look for a principal token that is a long way away from its maturation period. So right at the start of the 90-day period, which they'll be able to get for a very good discount. And then they will buy the principal token, hold it for 90 days, and redeem it once that maturation period is over. That's what you're paying for, essentially, is the opportunity cost. You can't do anything with that asset if you want to redeem it for the full face value. But of course, the longer you hold it, the closer it gets to the price that you want. And of course, since you bought it at a discount in the first place, if you can be patient, you can still make some money off it, even if you decide to redeem it early. Similarly with the interest tokens, it's entirely possible that you, kind of aggressive trader that you are, might decide that you only want the yield. You don't care about the principal, and you don't want to lock up principal in order to gain access to what could be some very pumpy, exciting yield opportunities on yen. So you just buy the yield tokens. So those yield tokens represent the yield that could be had on a particular asset. It's a little complicated to wrap your head around, because you kind of find yourself thinking, well, why is the principal trading at a discount? And it's simply this, that the natural laws of the market determine that if there is an opportunity cost involved, that opportunity cost should be discounted in the market. So Element themselves have an AMM, and you can trade these assets on that AMM, and presumably the whole structure is designed so that that market balances itself out in the most efficient way possible. So if we take a look at it, it's not actually on the Ethereum mainnet yet. That deploys on the 30th. We can go in and have a look at, for instance, the savings side of the market and take a look at, what the options are here and see how it actually works. So what we have here is it looks a little bit like the Uniswap interface, but we can say we want to deposit Ethereum or USDC in this instance. And so if we said, okay, well, I want to deposit 10 ETH, yes, obviously I have insufficient balance, then it will give me the maturation date, which is August the 6th, and it will tell me how much I would have earned at maturity, which is 0.0325 ETH. And that is it. That's how it works. Similarly, we could say USDC. So let's say I want to put in 10,000 USDC. And on August the 6th, I will have earned $104, which doesn't sound like very much, does it? But bear in mind that this is fixed rate, it's guaranteed, it's safe. And that is it. So there are other ways to earn on Element as well. So you could say, rather than saving, I want to start earning. So here you're playing a different side of the market. So yeah, if we look at this here, we've got a yearn vault, which has been running for what looks like a month and a half already. It looks like it's about halfway through. So we could deposit to this and gain the benefits of a month and 13 days worth of yield in this particular vault. This one is mature already. Then there's another one here, which is the Curve Staked ETH vault as well. That gives us an opportunity there. But we can also trade. So there's a market for trading principal tokens, and there's a market for trading yield tokens. But really, you'd have to do a bit of homework here to determine whether these represent a good value. But once you start freeing up assets for trading like this, generally the market will figure out what the best price for them is, and you can profit from that. So I don't have any in my portfolio at the moment. I did try and get stuck into this using the Gertie testnet, but I couldn't, unfortunately, access any testnet tokens. But what I like about this is that you can, once you've deposited, say you want to deposit ETH and take out principal tokens and yield tokens as well, you are able to then stake them. You're able to deposit them to liquidity pools, and you'll gain extra rewards for doing that as well. This is, similar kind of mechanism we've seen in lots of these different protocols. But fundamentally, there's a market for people who want to play it safe, and there's a market for people who want to do things a little bit more riskily. But I mean, essentially what we're looking at here is a way of just taking yield and creating derivatives on top of it, allowing those to be tradable, and then allowing the market to do the rest of the work. But if you were simply interested in a fixed rate and you want to buy ETH at a discount, then here's a way to do it. And it looks like it is pretty straightforward. I'm not going to lie, it took me some time to wrap my head around how this works and why it would work and why you might want to use it. But, even if you're just a kind of regular user and you want to get that fixed interest rate, this is an interesting way to do it. And because there's also a USDC pool, if the market's looking a little bit, you want to bet in for just some stable yield, there's a way to do it. So there you go. I expect there will be more protocols like this coming onto the market pretty soon. But as always, it feels like there's a lot of complexity here to wrap your head around, and that, for the casual user, it might be too much. So hopefully we can find a way to make all of that a bit more user-friendly. But good luck going through the documentation. With a little brain like mine, it was hard work. But I got there in the end, and I'm sure you can too. I'll see you in the next one. Peace!